Probability appears in almost all MYP Maths eAssessments. So MYP Maths eAssessments are going to happen soon for the M26 session. So I thought I'll make a video on probability. So this is going to be the only video on probability you will need for your MYP Maths examination. So if you understand this whole video, if you see this whole video, if you watch this whole video carefully, so you're going to get full marks in all different type of probability question, which will be asked in your MYP Maths eAssessment. So in this video, I'm going to cover each and every formula, each and every concept, each and every different type of question which is being asked in MYP Maths e-assessments. So I hope this video is going to be extremely helpful to all of you. And if you really like the video, please give a thumbs up to the video and also subscribe to my channel. And if you have any doubts, if you want to connect with me personally, you can DM me on my Instagram at the rate of your IB tutor, and I'll try my best to clear off all your doubts before the exam. So just understand, guys, I'm there for all of you all the time. So if you have any doubts, I understand this is a very crucial time for your MYP Maths exam preparation. So this is a very crucial time, and if you need any support, any help from me, just DM me on my Instagram at the rate of your IB tutor, or you can also mail me. You can find my email ID in the description box or onto my profile. So let's get started, guys. So in this video, we are going to cover these topics. So I'm going to start with the basic probability, and then I will be explaining you all complementary events, combined events, independent event, dependent event, Venn diagram, and tree diagram, and two-way table. I think two-way table is not that important, but yeah, sometimes it may help you in understanding the probability questions in a good way. So I'm going to explain that to you also in this video. So let's get started with the basic probability, guys. So basic probability. So if I talk about probability, so probability is basically chances of anything to occur. So when I say chances of anything to occur, so it's like we are just calculating the chances of anything to occur. For example, if I ask you whether it's going to be rain today or not, so what will be your plan of action? Your plan of action would be you go out in the balcony and see whether there are clouds or not. Let's say if there are very dense clouds, so you will say that yes, sir, there is a probability that 80% it's going to rain, but still you won't be 100% sure that it's going to rain because you're never sure about it. You're not 100% sure about it. So basic probability basically tells you a chances of anything to happen. For example, let's say we have a coin and we toss a coin. So when you toss a coin, you have only two possibilities, either heads or tails. So if I have to figure out the probability of heads, so it's going to be 1 by 2. And if I have to figure out the probability of tail, it is also going to be 1 by 2. Why 1 by 2? Because the total number of possibilities is 2, which comes in the denominator. And my favorable case, which in this case is head, and in this case is tail, so it's going to be 1 by 2. Now let's say we have two coin. So when you have two coin, thing which can come out is either head head, head tail, tail head, and tail tail. So this is my sample space. So sample space is basically all the outcome of a particular event. So sample space for the tossing of two coins is head head, head tail, tail head, and tail tail. So if I ask you what is the probability of getting two heads, so two head would be 1 by 4, because 1 is my favorable and total number of possible outcome is 4, so 1 by 4. If I ask you what is the probability of getting one head, so one head would be 2 by 4. Why 2 by 4? Because this and this will become my favorable case. So that's how we calculate the probability, and that is what we need to understand in the basic probability. So next is complementary events. So complementary event, if I have to explain, so probability of A and the complement of A, when you add, you're always going to get the answer as 1. So probability of A means probability of A to happen. And when I say complement of A, so complement of A is probability of A to not happen. So P of A dash means probability of A to not happen. So when you basically add the probability of any event happening and not happening, you should always get the answer as 1. So from here I can say that P of A complement is going to be 1 minus P of A. For example, let's say you toss a coin. So when you toss a coin, your sample space is head comma tail, because these are the maximum outcome. So now if I say probability of head coming is how much? 1 by 2. If I say what is the probability of head not coming? So probability of head complement is going to be equal to probability of tail coming, because if head is not coming, then obviously tail will come, and hence the probability will be 1 by 2, which is nothing but 1 minus P of H, which is 1 minus 1 by 2. You can see here I'm getting 1 by 2. So complement of any event is basically probability of that particular event to not happen. So that is basically the meaning of complement. So next is independent events. Independent events are basically events are independent when outcome of one event does not affect the outcome of the other, and for two independents, even A and B, if we have to figure out the probability of A and B both, then it's going to be PA times PB. So let's understand this with an example. So let's say you toss a coin and roll a dice. So please understand, when you're tossing a coin and you're rolling a dice, so when whatever result you're going to get on the coin is not going to affect the result of the dice. For example, for this experiment, the tossing of a coin, the sample space is head comma tails, and rolling of a dice, the sample space is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's say there, I asked you a question, what is the probability of getting a head and a six? So when you're rolling, when you're tossing a coin and rolling a dice simultaneously means together. So what is the probability of getting a head and getting a six on the dice? So probability of getting a head and six would be equal to 1 by 2 times 1 by 6. Why 1 by 2? Because for head, we will consider this sample space, which is 1 by 2. Total output is 2. And getting a 6 would be 1 by 6. So the probability is going to be 1 by 12. So I'm using this formula here, P of H into P of H and 6 is equal to P of H times P of 6. Why? Because both of the events are independent events. And just now I said that for independent event, P of A and B is going to be equal to PA times PB. So tossing a coin and rolling a dice can be the best example of independent events. You need to remember to understand it in a better way. So next is dependent event, guys. So dependent events are basically the events when the outcome of one event affect the outcome of the other event. So the formula which we use in this is P of A and B is equal to P of A into P of B by A. And P of B by A meaning is probability of B given that A has already occurred. So just remember this formula, guys, and I will explain this to you with the help of an example. So let's say we have a bag, or let's say we have a box, and in the box we have four red ball and three green ball. And let's say I'm saying that we are drawing two balls, one after the other, one after the other without replacement. So please remember, guys, there are two conditions. One is with replacement, another one is without replacement. So with replacement is like, let's say so I'm explaining with replacements. And with replacement, let's say you put your hand into the box and you picked one ball. Let's say you got the red ball. So before you pick the second ball, you have to put that ball again in the bag. And in without replacement, whatever ball you get in the first pick, you have to keep it aside, and then you have to put your hand for the second pick without putting the first ball back in the bag. So right now I'm doing it without replacement. And so two balls are picked one after the other without replacement. So what is the probability that we will get two green balls? Means in the both pick I'm going to get green balls. Please understand, guys, the probability of green in this case is 3 by 8. Probability of getting a green ball in the first pick is 3 by 8. Now, after picking the first ball as green, you need to understand in the box, now we will have four red balls, but the green ball is going to be reduced by 1. So this is the after picking first green ball. So you can clearly see that in the second pick, if you want to figure out the green ball, the probability of if you're picking out a green ball, it's going to be 2 by 6, because the overall green ball has decreased by 1, and because of that green ball, the overall number of ball also in the box is decreased by 1. So this is my 2 by 6. So if I have to figure out the probability of G and G, that means first and second both balls are green and the condition is without replacement. So it's going to be 3 by 8 times 2 by 6. So we will just cancel it out and my answer would be 1 by 8 for this particular situation. So this is what dependent events are, because you need to understand here that the picking of green ball in the first event affected the result of picking a green ball in the second event. So guys, in this particular video, we are done with basic probability. We are done with complementary events. We are done with combined events. We are done with independent events. We are done with dependent events. So guys, we are done with the first 5 topics. So in the next part of this probability video, I'm going to cover the Venn diagram, tree diagram, and two-way tables. So until then, guys, please watch this video properly and try to apply the concepts which we have discussed in this particular video. And I hope this video is helpful to all of you. And if you have any doubts related to probability or any other topic of MYP Maths, please DM me on my Instagram, guys, because it will be easy for me to reply there and connect with you all. So please reply on my Instagram. Please message me on my Instagram and I'll try my best to help all of you. And if you really like the video, guys, please give a thumbs up and share this video with your friends, guys. I'll see you soon with the probability part 2 video.